We offer a trauma-informed bespoke counselling service. The service has been running for 3 years now. It began as a pilot service. It had never been in disability action before, and it has been very successful now for the last 3 years. We're a regional service, so it covers all of the north of Ireland, and it's individual to each person based on their need of service. It can be delivered face-to-face, telephone or Zoom. Our service so far has been quite unique, and it's been quite a wonderful service and rapid growing. We understood the needs of people with disabilities. We understood that energy levels change every day, your circumstances change every day, the pain of disability, the exhaustion of disability, the additional care needs that you may possibly have, your family dynamics, they all play a part in being able to access mental health support. It was actually empowering the individuals and saying what's right for you and how are we going to make this happen. If someone has been facing a lifetime of poor mental health and well-being, successions isn't going to make much of a difference. We don't trust people to open up, so that takes time, that takes patience. If we have someone who is autistic or has a learning disability, that takes time as well. So we need 16 sessions. That's the model that we go in with, is the optimal number we're finding. Some people need more, some people need less, but again, it's all individual based. I had previously been an employment officer and worked in the community sector with marginalised groups for over 15 years. And that included people with disabilities, mental health, addictions, homeless. And whilst I was studying, I could see that people were being supported with their direct disabilities, whether that be physical, visual, hidden disability, but none of the needs of their mental health were being addressed. So once I had qualified as a counsellor, I had sat down with the CEO and had suggested that we needed to be addressing the needs of people's mental health, because if we don't have mental health well-being, emotional well-being, we have nothing. It doesn't matter about anything else. So as a human rights organisation, we promote equality in the workplace and in your life, and that wasn't, if we still don't have equality within our mental health, nothing will be achieved. So luckily our CEO understood this and agreed that we could pilot a counselling service. We have been able to provide almost 5,000 counselling sessions to people with disabilities, their families, carers and loved ones in the last 3 years. One in 4 people have a disability, and we know that the most common reason is mental distress. The word disability is a label in itself, and some people don't like the association with that, and we need to demystify that. It takes vulnerability in order for us to step forward and be courageous. It is not a weakness. Vulnerability is courageous, and it's just as important as our physical well-being. We go to the doctor if we have a sore leg. We go to the dentist if we have a sore tooth. It is perfectly okay to go to a counsellor to talk about your emotions.
It's really important to remove the stigma around that so that people can get the help they need and live their best lives.
Disability Action are brilliant at that. It's a pan-disability organisation, and I think that's what makes me work for them, because it inspires me a little bit, because it's not you have to fit this box in order to get these services. You have a disability, you get the service. I like that. I think that's holistic.
Equality. There's a misconception that equality means equal. Equality means fair. Fairness is different to everyone. Therefore, it needs to be different for everyone.
If you've made that effort to come and get some counselling, you should be getting a good service that is meeting your needs, whether that's your race, your disability, your age. It doesn't matter. It should be the same.
Everyone can access those services. They don't feel judged, and that basically we are offering the same level of high quality counselling to everybody in society.
Asking the individual, what do they need? What do they want to get? And what's brought them here?
The word anxiety to me means letting things get to you, having irrational thoughts and acting irrationally, where you lose control, and you can function, but you can't function at the best of your ability. Working yourself up about things that you don't need to work yourself up on. But if you have somebody to talk to, then you don't think about it as much, because as soon as you say it, you think about it less. That's my experience anyway. So,
walking on eggshell, that was the way I felt waking up. And it's our body telling us how something might make us feel uncomfortable.
I found anxiety was being like really agitated, feeling really tense all the time. For me, it was like panic attacks as well, not being able to do your everyday tasks because you have so much going on in your head.
Puts you in a state of a fear all the time that something will happen, and just makes you always like tense and afraid and scared to do something or to go somewhere.
Anxiety was something that was literally eating away my joy and happiness, and it was eating me away from inside. Confidence has little to do with self-esteem. My self-esteem was very low. I didn't really believe in my own abilities.
I think it's a heaviness in terms of mental load, and it's 24/7, 7 days a week.
So it's really important to understand anxiety, because one negative thought can outdo 1,000. It's like a cancer. That's what I'd always explain anxiety as. It can take over. So if we have no awareness of what's going on, those negative thoughts can turn into a cycle and perpetuate. And if we don't understand it, then we can't contain it.
Stress and anxiety are meant to be there. So we're supposed to be stressed. That's what gives us motivation. That's what gets us up and gets us to work and gets us to do difficult things in life. We're supposed to have a little bit of it. And in fact, the adrenaline of that gets us to do things. Anxiety really is about thinking about the past or thinking about the future. You're not really in the moment. Your mind is racing ahead. You're catastrophizing and worrying about what this and what that. Our body is in the response of fear, fight, flight, freeze. And it is about trying to help that person calm down and be in the moment, realize they are safe right now, and work through that. So depression, people have this idea that depressed people are sad, that they have a very sad expression. There's a lot of very depressed people working busy lives and busy parents, busy partners. It's very hidden, and people sometimes feel like they can't say, so they can't take the mask off, if you want, and show them what it is. It's not just about sadness. It's about a flatness, about a lack of ability to enjoy life, to feel good, to feel connected. There's a real stigma in depression. There's almost like this feeling like people can just snap out of it, and that they can fully control it. It takes time, yes. There's some control, but it takes education, it takes practice. As I was saying, it takes time for that person to really get that out.
It is associated with low mood and, just a heaviness, as I would like to describe it like. So it's important that you identify it. You identify that it's, I hate the term that gets bandied about, it's okay not to be okay. It's actually not okay not to be down all the time, and it's maybe just identifying people's mood. Is it up and down? Is this a constant state? Can you not get out of bed? It's exploring those emotions for people to say, is this impacting your life? Would you like to live another way? So let's get involved with counselling to see how we might help you.
Well, depression to me means, I suppose, not being happy with your lot, not being happy with your life. Thinking that, you could have 75p and you're always wondering why you don't have a pound. So you're always, you find something negative and things that are positive. You feel that nothing good has ever happened to you. You think nothing good is ever going to happen to you. And you think that's sort of just the way that it is. But it's a very serious condition, and if it's not managed and it's not spoke about, and it's not so much medication, but self-help, there's loads of different things that you can take for it or do for it. So, and again, like as soon as you talk about it, it's never as bad as you think.
It's important to take the 5 steps to well-being into your everyday life. So they are: get outside, give, learn, connect, and take note.
I know that it's vital that I maintain my self-care in order to be able to give to others. If you don't look after yourself, you have nothing to give to anyone else. So look after you as a necessity, and you have an abundance to give to other people. And again, that looks different to everyone. That could just be getting up and moving about. It's movement.
To learn, it is by far my favourite. So a lot of people like bubble baths and candles to relax. For me, it definitely is learning. I'm always doing courses, that filling myself up with something different.
Connection, and connection is about belonging. It is not about fitting in, and that's a big misconception with people.
I think connection is at the heart sometimes of loneliness, of not feeling like you're part of or connected to. And connection can come from many different places. You can connect at your local cafe and have a cup of tea with people. You can just smile at somebody in the street.
To give to other people, to volunteer, to give through your own free will. And again, that's part of the Pay It Forward. It makes us feel good to be able to help other people. It's in our human makeup. So the last step to well-being is take notice, and that's about being present and grounding ourselves in the here and now.
I was going through a lot of things and I felt like I wasn't really coping very well with it. Getting somebody who was probably picked suitable for me rather than just a random counsellor, I just felt like you just like are able to process things better, to like not feel guilty for doing things for yourself. It was really beneficial, and I think at that time in my life that I wouldn't have coped if I hadn't went to it. To be honest, I think everybody should have counselling at some stage in their life.
Just had a lot of pressure going on sort of inside and outside of work. Didn't really have an outlet, I suppose. Having that outlet where you can say anything you want in your deepest, darkest thoughts and stuff like that, you know that you can go in there, you can trust that person, and you can walk out and it goes no further.
Lost people who were really close to me. All my reserve levels were gone and my resilience was really low, and I just didn't have the same ability to cope as I would have before. And just to better understand how I could cope with what was ahead of me.
Yes, so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2009, and I went home to Lithuania after that. And my mom said to me, "Greta, you are getting really angry. You need help. Hard to deal with my diagnosis and the change of the lifestyle." So it probably was that, and also losing independence. It's really hard to cope when you are not able to do things that you did before, and when you actually have to ask people to help you.
The reason for counselling was the fact that I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. There are lasting effects which basically helped me to overcome signs and symptoms of anxiety and depression. And I can say that I don't really live my life to full at the minute.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I would recommend it.
I think counselling opens up a lot of doors, and it's a holistic point of view, and it's somewhere that staff can go where they're not judged. It's non-biased opinion, and they can just feel relaxed to chat. And I think in this society, in this day and age, it's very important to talk about how we feel and to get those feelings seen and heard by others as well. I think for some of our members of staff to have engaged in counselling insofar as that when they now come to work, they feel more confident in themselves. The fact that they have had that opportunity to talk about how they're feeling, to talk to someone, as I said previously, who's unbiased and who will not judge them for the situation that they are in. And it just means that when they come to work, they're more productive in themselves and they're happier in themselves. And then that also can share and spread with the others in the gym as well.
That should definitely be built into companies' healthcare plans and things like that. So yes, I would definitely recommend it.
We don't really realize how much of our thinking and behavior can impact the way we feel.
We really kind of need to think about, as a society, how we talk about mental distress and mental health, because any of us at any time can experience mental distress. It's a real thing.
The counselling changed my life. I would say, and I'm telling everybody, because, well, I never was suicidal or anything like that. And you know, but I say to the people that it's really, really important, because it helped me to realize what my problems are and helped me to come around issues and find solutions.
There are groups out there, there's people out there that will understand you and you can connect. And whether that be through our service, through Disability Action, understanding the needs and their lived experience, we can begin to create those connections with you, because you're never on your own.